You do. You just need some discipline.
All right, so Mosh, before I hit the button, I got another button that I'm going to hit
Okay,
first.
come on, hit some buttons.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
My life is running out of lifespan.
Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Fan Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Bolitnikov, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your old buddy Murph back once again in Murph's dining room for another what we hope to be fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. The fan cave rig is officially fixed, but I haven't had a chance to go pick it up yet. So we'll be live back on the YouTube starting as soon as next week. But in the meantime, we are here at the Murph's dining room table, and on the southern end of Murph's dining room table is the one and only Uncle Ma.
I'm down here with the sausage and peppers.
Little sausage, little peppers, little vino.
Yeah.
Bread. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. But anyway, so thank you, Uncle Mosh, for joining us here.
My pleasure.
Episode.
2 weeks in a row. It's been a while since I've done 2 weeks in a row.
It sure has, huh?
Yeah.
Is it 3 weeks in a row?
Why am I here? Where's swag?
I know, and you're back to work and everything.
I
man.
know, right?
You're educating America's youth and doing a podcast. I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna brag on us, but I'll just say,
here, let me get you set up.
Okay,
hey, Murph.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a podcast for years now.
Long time.
Yeah, we used to. I used to love it when you and my other favorite nephew were doing it. When you and Sonny were doing it, you guys used your tagline was, we got tens of listeners.
Tens of listeners. Tens and tens of listeners.
Tens and tens. And then we were like, oh, hey, we finally hit triple digits.
We had hundreds at one point.
Yeah, and then we got it, started having subscribers, getting us up into the thousands. And something big happened to our world today.
Yeah, so, Apple, for those of you, and this is just a celebration of all of you that are listening because you're the ones that support us.
Because it's Raiders Fan Radio.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not Raiders Mosh and Murph Radio. It's Raiders Fan Radio. And then you guys are Raiders fans, and you're the hardcorest of the hardcore because if you're listening to us, you're hardcore. Mm-hmm. So we got notified that we not finally, I guess. I mean, it's just a cool thing. We cracked the top 50 of Apple Podcasts, Mosh.
That's the World Wide Web.
Like, that's pretty freaking cool. That's
cool.
just Apple. Now, Apple, for those of you who don't know, they just recently reorganized their podcast structure, and that they have different categories for different things. It's very siloed, to use a corporate term now. Okay. It's very siloed. But anyway, so in our football silo, we're in the top 50. So that's really cool because, and you know what? Why is that so cool? Here's why I think. There's 32 teams in the NFL.
Right.
And there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of podcasts that do a lot of shows about NFL football teams.
Absolutely.
So there feasibly could be at a minimum 32 podcasts about football, right? About NFL football. Okay. So if the odds are those probably 2, so that's 64, and we're in the top 50. So like, you see where I'm getting though? There's a lot of NFL. Am I doing math? You're giving me the math eyes.
I don't know how you went from 49 add 2 to 60, but that's how you always cheat me when I pay for things.
I don't do tax.
I know. You dumbass.
Anyway, so thank you to all of you that support us and so very much every single way. It's really fun, man.
Congrats.
That's
awesome.
We get some great feedback from everybody, of course, on all of our social medias and everything. But the best way to support us is subscribe to us, whatever your podcast service is, whether that's Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you can find a podcast, you can find us, and just look for Murph's Fan Cave and subscribe to us there. And what you're doing is working, and it's awesome. And so that said, I also just got another thing we're going to float out there to you. This is kind of like, I don't know, that's not like a warning, but it's like a heads up, right?
Okay.
So we've kind of had some good momentum for a long time.
Sure.
There's a lot of housekeeping going on here at Raiders Fan Radio, top of the show, so bear with me. We've had a lot of momentum now for a while, and we've been reached out to multiple times for advertising opportunities.
Right.
Now, we've done some fun stuff with friends of ours, like Jeff at Dead Pirate Sports and whatever, but we've never really taken on like an official advertiser. We've been contacted by people that do like air fresheners and like phone cases and like razors and mattresses and stuff.
Yeah.
But just never felt right about like taking on like an official sponsor or an official advertising partner to Raiders Fan Radio. Well, we got contacted by some folks, and so next week we're going to start doing an official ad. And so just wanted to thank those folks off the top for thinking enough of us to reach out to us, and we think it's a good fit, not only for an NFL/Raiders show, but considering that the Raiders are going to Las Vegas, it's a betting company.
And
so why not?
let's say it's a safe bet that our first advertiser will have something to do with one of our favorite sports in the whole world, and that's casino
and that's
sports.
Casino sports, exactly.
Yeah.
And casino sports you can do from your phone. So
Yes,
anyways,
you can.
So thank you to those folks. You'll hear from us next week. We'll be talking about our new advertising partner. So thank you to them. All right. So in the meantime, also we are selling our T-shirts as we do. You know what? We got somebody that cut a little promo for us about our T-shirts.
Let's hit it.
Check this out.
What's going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Mikey Raider from On Air Nation, and I wanted to let you know that you need to become a made man. That's right, with Raiders Fan Radio, Murph's Fan Cave, get made like I did. Check out, buy these T-shirts to support, get it done, get made, and become a made man. Mikey Raider, love you all. Peace.
Isn't that cool?
Good job, Mikey. Thank you, Mikey.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. So he's referring to the Made Man T-shirt or the Get Made T-shirt.
Sure.
You can be a made man or a made woman by calling and participating in our show. But our new shirts say Get Made across the top, and then it's got the RFR logo on it. And so those shirts, the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds from those shirts, are going to support the Bolitnikoff Foundation to help fund the new Tracy's Place of Hope, which is a wonderful facility that helps young women get away from substance abuse issues and domestic abuse issues, and so it's
Provides an educational platform.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely, which speaks to your heart clearly as a teacher and an educator. So, anyways, it's a big deal to us, and so we're going to present those folks with all the money that gets raised this November 1st at the Crab Fest, their annual fundraiser. And so Uncle Mosh and I and another friends and family of Raiders Fan Radio, including Swag Jeff, including Sonny, my former co-host and founder of the show, we're all going to be out there together, and we're going to present this check to them, and it's going to be awesome. And then we're going to go to the game on November 3rd, but we're going to talk about that later. So let me skip ahead a little bit. So thank you to those of you that have supported us by buying those shirts, and please continue to do so. You go to RaidersFanRadio.com/t-shirts, and then you can find the shirts there. All right, Mosh, you got anything before we get to 137?
I think it needs to be said that when we talk about going out there and what we're doing, and we're going to the Crab Fest, the Bolitnikoff Foundation Crab Fest, that only you and I would invite. Okay, Sonny's a no-brainer. Sonny's going to come. Sonny's the one of the founding fathers of this podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
And my other favorite nephew. Okay,
Swaggo.
He's my favorite son. That's not my son.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the redheaded cousin who's gonna be. We're not bringing him to the Crab Fest, but he's gonna be in. He's gonna go to the events with us. But
you mean the other nephew?
The other nephew.
Oh yeah. The Bronco fan.
The Bronco fan. But of course,
we're gonna leave him in the hotel room while we do the Crab Fest.
Absolutely. which is funny because he's in our bloodline, so we know he can eat, but only you and I and Sonny would bring a guy, Swag Jeff, to a Crab Fest who's allergic to shellfish.
Yeah, I'm going to get his share.
We're going to be picking off of that kid's plate.
We're going to be
I love that.
We're going to be arm wrestling for Swag Jeff's food. So he goes. So I go, Jeff. So we're going to land. We're going to get the rental car, and then we're going straight to La Villa's, our favorite delicatessen in San Jose, California, the best food in the world, the raviolis. And he goes, is it really good? And I'm like, dude, it's literally the best food in the world. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to load up there because I can't eat anything at the Crab Fest. I'm like, nothing wrong with that, man.
You just don't turn anything away. When they bring it, Jeff, just say yes.
Just say yes.
Because it's not going to go to waste.
No, absolutely not.
Between you and I and Sonny, it's not
going to go to waste. Absolutely not. So anyways, good stuff there. So speaking of swag, Jeff, so he now has the distinct honor of naming our episode number.
And he does a great job.
Does a great job, better than I ever did, of naming the number and its relevancy back to the Oakland Raiders. And so this year, listen to me.
Wow.
What's tonight? 2019?
6.5 days after the last show we did.
Okay, all right. So 6.5 days ago, we had.
I sounded drunk just then. 6.5 days. Q-Dog's going, tailgating too much. Tailgating too much.
So Mosh, so we are 6.5 days ago we did 136. So today is 137, and we always like to take the episode number and tie it back to something significant in Raider history. And so Swaggo came up with a good one this week. He actually came up with two. You want to tell us what they are?
Yeah, my favorite. I loved it. Stabler, the snake.
The snake. What does snake have to do with 137?
I know, right? Who would have ever thought? You know what?
Yeah.
Did he make 137 prop bets on one of his games? Did him and Jimmy Buffett have 137 girls over one weekend in the offseason?
137 beers and
each. No, Snake had 137 career rushing yards.
Nice.
That's crazy. Who knew?
Well done, Swag. That's awesome. And he's got a tag on there even too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Get the next one.
Okay, well, Foster Moreau, who's our new tight end, who is at this point becoming famous for catching for Derek Carr.
Exactly.
Every Hard Knocks episode, Foster Moreau is standing next to Derek Carr.
Right.
Just, big old monster of a guy catching the ball and handing it to Derek to throw.
I love that.
I love that. And so he's the one that gave Derek a hard time about his greased up arms and all that kind of stuff. So Foster Moreau was picked, I think it was the 4th round this year, in the draft, and he was the 137th overall pick.
That's awesome.
Great job, Swaggo.
Yeah, way to go, Swag.
Good job. Well done. All right, so one more at the risk of being mushy segment on us here. We like to give respect. We don't give props. We don't give shout-outs. Nothing wrong with those things, but we like to give respect. And I want to give respect to a community of people and specifically a couple of hosts of a podcast that we consider peers of ours, we consider friends of ours, and I'm talking about the Pillaging Podcast.
They do a great job.
Absolutely. The Pillaging Podcast and the Pillagers is their listening audience.
Oh, nice.
You have your moshers, they have their Pillagers, right?
Yeah.
They sent out a real nice tweet today. It was just offering some respect right back at us, you know what I mean? And,
cool.
And said they enjoyed, meeting us last year at the game. And of course, I responded quickly with,
Do you have it? Can you read it?
It's on my phone here. Yeah, I can read it. Yeah.
So
you want to fill?
Yeah. So the Pillagers are the group that the loyal fan base that listens to the Pillaging Podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're awesome.
They're awesome. They got a great, and we share a lot of listeners too. We know that, and that's look, we're here to build each other up, not knock each other down. There is plenty of room on your iPhone for freaking 19 podcasts.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So these guys have become friends of ours. So anyway, so they said we had the pleasure of meeting Murph at the Coliseum last year. One of the most down to earth people you'll ever meet. Hope to do the same sometime soon. Next time we play the Titans, I may have to get out there. Well, heck yeah. And I responded with, you'll always have a home here, guys. And we'll be out there in November. And I look forward to meeting you in the A-lot. So, so when we're out there in November, in fact, we're gonna have a parking pass in the A-lot.
Yeah,
we'll just walk over and go hang with those guys. And so thanks to them, man. That's just really kind for them to reach out. Absolutely, and again, we share a lot of listeners. And, there's plenty of opportunity in the world to knock each other down, man. And we decided – Kenny and I and Che, and just talking to one another, we retweet each other's shows. We like each other's stuff. Like, it's okay to that what they say, a rising tide lifts all pirates, all pirate ships, right?
And that's, and we've brought in Mikey into the Murph's Fan Cave and the Fan Club Blitz into the, so
those guys do a show on both, because their network is called the Crow's Nest.
Yeah.
They have their Inebriation show on their network, and then Fan Club Blitz is on our network. So we actually share a freaking host.
Yeah, so it's great. It's
absolutely.
great.
Good stuff.
Super stuff.
Yeah, so good stuff there from those guys. Thank you very much for the kind words and back at you for sure. All right, Uncle Mosh, we got anything before you want to jump into the show?
Hit the contact info. Hit the button, stupid.
I know where the button is now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, again, we have changed locations now that we're in the dining room, and I'm at the helm. I got all the sound bites and everything.
You do?
The bites. You got the pre-recorded stuff that I usually have.
Yeah.
And you're always yelling at me. Hit the button.
Because you're always pushing stuff like this.
Uncle Mosh, you're the smartest man alive.
Well, there's a rule. That has to come up a lot. Tell them where they can hear us. Those that aren't listening to us, they can tell their friends. All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us show@RaidersFanRadio.com or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Merv's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit? Good. Hey, so they in the promo we just brought up Fan Club Blitz.
Yeah.
And so a little bit of housekeeping outside of us, housekeeping and some New Jersey chapter.
Your people.
My peeps, man, where I'm a member. So the
guys.
Fan Club Blitz and the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole have secured 76 seats in section 336.
Okay.
And they got a heck of a deal. So you can go on PayPal and go on PayPal for $65 per seat. There's no fees, and this is a reserved seat. Just go to fanclubblitz@yahoo.com, and you can, for $65, you can sit with them in this section of the Fan Club Blitz in the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole.
And it's going to be awesome. So,
oh my gosh.
So not only are all those folks going to be there, the OG Black Hole guys, Rob Rivera and all them are coming out. Kenny from the Pillaging Podcast, Kane, I believe, is going to be. Those guys are coming out. So there's going to be a whole group of really cool folks to hang out with. And they're all sitting together in these 76 seats. And I heard the other day there's only like 20 left.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So they're going quick.
They're going quick.
Because you can't beat that price, $65.
$65, and you get to hang out with everybody, go to the tailgates and all that. Come on now.
It's
going to be a blast. Going to be a blast.
Yeah, I need some lasagna.
Yeah. Though they're I forget what I heard. They're having it like catered by some Italian place in freaking Staten Island or something. Or I forget what it was they were saying exactly, but it's going to be crazy legit. And then they're having like New Jersey breakfast sandwiches, which is, I don't even know what this is, but it's Taylor ham and eggs. I don't even know what that is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but it's Taylor ham and eggs on a New Jersey bagel. Like,
are you kidding me?
I know. Like, I'm ready to go right now. Like, anyways, good stuff from those guys. Thank you, Mosh, for bringing that up. Yeah, we definitely want to support them out there.
What's that date? What's the date on that?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Winter time. It's November.
Is it 17?
Oh crap! I don't remember.
Forgot.
It's close to a holiday because that's why we're not able to go.
It's like Thanksgiving-ish, right?
I think it's Thanksgiving-ish or Christmas-ish. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't have that my schedule in front of me.
Look for the Jets game, and it's that game. Okay. So first segment of the show tonight, so we're going to jump into it. Episode number 137. Mostradamus.
Thank you.
Strikes again. Now, for those of you that don't listen to us or frequently or are new listeners to the show, my Uncle Mosh, sitting to my left here, has a fantastic knack for either predicting things or having bits or segments that eventually, in like a short span of time, this amount of time.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
So in that amount of time, they turn into national things.
It's crazy.
It's happened with your rants about the Chiefs.
Yep.
It's happened with, I don't even remember them all off the top of my head. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been Mount Rushmore stuff. Like, we'll bring up something, and then within the next week or so, we'll see it on some national outlet.
Right.
The same concept or
Stuff
whatever.
goes viral that we talk about here.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, you brought up, because we were talking about Fred Biletnikoff, you brought up Lester Hayes and about how he was always covered in Stickum and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You were telling Jeff the story.
Sure.
And you mentioned that Fred was the one that introduced Lester to Stickum. And that's how what kind of kicked off all that stuff. Well, sure enough, this week, we got a video it's called Peyton's Place. Okay. And now you love Peyton Manning as a Tennessee guy.
Always have, because he's a Tennessee guy, yeah.
I was indifferent on him for a long time. He became a Bronco, and I couldn't stand him. But I like him now. He's like Dion. Like, now that he's not playing for anybody, I love him.
Exactly.
So anyway, he's doing this web series called Peyton's Place, and what is the first guest he has on is Fred Biletnikoff. And Mosh, what are they talking about?
Stickum.
Peyton, what do you know about Stickum?
Wow. It's really on
How's
there.
That feel? That feel good grip?
It really works, huh?
It sure does.
Fred Biletnikoff already had tremendous hands.
Biletnikoff, with those marvelous hands, held on to the ball as he went out of bounds.
Thanks, man. Hands that were infamous for what he put on them. A foreign substance called Stickum.
Look at that Stickum. He's got it everywhere. Helmet, his ankles. How's it feel, Freddie?
Feels good, man.
All right, Fred, I did my best. I got a little silver and black on to channel my inner Oakland Raider, but I want to know how Stickum works.
I know you're honest, but with the Raiders, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So this is one of the things of not cheating, trying deal.
Am I dressed? My dress properly?
Oh, you got to pull those socks up. Socks up, boy. Yeah.
My man, Paul
Yeah, there you go. Now you look good.
Now I look like Fred Biletnikoff.
Yeah.
You got taped what was kind of from the wrist to the elbow?
The wrist to the elbow, yeah. You're going to be missing a hair after you take it off, so don't worry about it.
I can handle that. So I'm ready.
Here we go. I'll show you the first step.
So he's dipping a tongue depressor into a jar of Stickum.
I got to hold it
still
there.
on.
Okay.
And then you just get yourself a little bit more.
Am I trying to put it where nobody can see it?
Perfect. No, hell, they don't care.
It was legal back in the day or illegal?
It was legal.
It was legal.
Oh, heck yeah.
Raiders legal?
Well, Raiders legal.
Okay, all right.
Fred Biletnikoff bears a strong resemblance to silver and black fly paper with number 25 sewn on.
What if you had to adjust anything in the groin area or pick your nose?
Well, you have to be careful with the groin area with this stuff. Here's some gum.
I can't. There's no way. I'm not putting this in my mouth.
So Fred was famous for people feeding pieces of gum on the sideline.
So he fed Peyton a piece
Look
of
at
gum.
this. I got the gum.
So funny.
And see, then you used to have
Sure, it sticks, but does this glop actually work? Could Stickum make me a better receiver?
So they're showing that pass.
He left it right in the air.
Peyton caught
Could it be?
Peyton caught his own pass.
Now we got to look through some plays here and see what you'd like to pick out.
Coach, I'm going to
use
recommend
today.
some shorter to intermediate patterns. I don't want to go too deep. That's way too deep.
Peyton is sticking these all over his body.
Keep this one later.
They're all
Just in
covered
case you
with
get it out on the field.
Yeah,
That's great.
exactly.
That's good. There you go.
That's if I forget it.
Yeah.
Now we're ready.
Okay, so I would just suggest anybody that hasn't seen it, go on the YouTube and see that. There's a great Kenny Stabler makes a great cameo in there, telling Freddie, "Hey, you just made a great catch," and he's like, "That snake."
Yeah.
And there's just some amazing catching highlights of Freddie.
Yeah,
cool.
that was really cool. That was fun, man. So that was so good for Peyton, man. He's a good sport. He's fun.
Yeah, he is.
Do you remember the Saturday Night Live skit where he's playing catch with the kids?
When he's drilling those kids.
My God.
One of the funniest skits ever.
It's so good. It's so good. So, yeah, so that was cool. So good job, Peyton, of course, Fred. And we got a chance maybe to interview Fred in the coming weeks and months. So
coming up, yeah.
We're excited about that, and hopefully we can get him on the show. And, of course, we're big Biletnikoff fans around here.
Absolutely.
All right, so Mosh, so another really funny thing that happened this week. Sonny actually hit me to this. I had a crazy week, and I didn't listen to a lot of sports talk. And I was talking to Sonny the other day, and he goes, "Did you hear John Gruden on the Dan Patrick Show?" And I go, No. I go, he's on Dan Patrick? He goes, oh, yeah, you gotta check it out. John Gruden did a live, because he knows what a big fans you and I are of Dan Patrick. He goes, oh, you got to check it out. So I went and checked it out. It's amazing. So we got some audio for you here.
Here it is.
He's John Gruden, kind enough to join us as we recap episode 1 of Hard Knocks. Coach, did you watch the episode?
I'll tell you what, man, I did. And you take a look at those Derek Carr arms. Nobody wears a red quarterback don't hit me shirt better than Derek Carr. Those arms, that lotion. He said he wanted to put the little white stuff on his nose. I tell you what, man, nobody's going to hit you in the nose. You're Derek Carr. You're not in my dreams. I want you in people's nightmares, man. Freddie Krieger, that guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you all in on this team?
I'll tell you what, I love these guys, man. And if I don't love them, I'll trade them, man.
Well, you did say that, like Ronald Ollie, you just cut him. Like he like 2 days in.
The effort, man. You got to put the effort in, Dan. If your guys back there on the other side of the glass are not doing their job, you're getting rid of those guys. We want guys who want to play. We don't want guys who are out there going half speed, who can't even do a log roll in some type of tumbling class. We want guys who can make it happen. If they don't, this isn't the Outback Bowl. This isn't the Sugar Bowl. This isn't the Blue Bonnet Bowl. This is none of that stuff, man.
Why wasn't it addressed on the show, Antonio Brown's feet?
Those feet are so scary they can't even show them on HBO, man. That's part of the problem. You thought you could see. You got Game of Thrones. This was too crazy for Game of Thrones. I mean, you can't have that stuff on television. But I tell you what, Antonio Brown, he's got to fix those feet, or we're going to be in for fixing ourselves, man.
You got a rookie safety there who, Jonathan Abrams. He likes to chattel. He could be crazy.
He stirs the pot a little bit, doesn't he?
Yes, and he talked back to you.
Eye to eye. Do you see it going eye to eye with me? Did you see that?
Yes.
Trying to go eye to eye. We get a stare down contest. I didn't blink. Abrams blinked. You know why he blinked? Because I don't blink, man. I just use my power of telepathy. I'm not even sure if that's a word, man. But
is it telepathy?
Whatever, man.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
In the old days. Well, in the old days, I had Tirico. I'd say, hey, Mike, what is that? And Tirico would come up with an idea of what it was.
It was nice to see some old videos, though, of, the previous greats, John Madden, seeing him with the blocking sled. That was nice. That was nice to see.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what was going on there, but in true John Madden form, he didn't just tell you about the 7-man sled. He got on the 7-man sled, and then he demonstrated what it was like to be a coach on the 7-man sled. He kept doing that, right. That thing he did there, I thought there was a glitch on the web feed, man. That was tremendous. I love watching John Madden. I love the history, everything behind what's going on here with the Oakland Raiders. This is... I'm tearing up here, man.
What can we... You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What can we expect with the next episode of Hard Knocks?
You go 100% mental right now, 50% physical. We play other teams, we're going 100%, maybe 200%, maybe 300%, maybe 400%. I don't care how many percentages over 100, but it's going to be tremendous, man. And no more hot air balloons from A, B, that afterburner thing. Coming in a chopper, man. This is going to be a pretty good. We're going to make it happen, man.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. It's great to talk to you. We appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you during the season.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to go work on my colloquialisms and sayings, man.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that fantastic?
That is so funny.
It's the best.
So funny.
It's the best. So if you didn't figure it out during the course of that interview, of course, that's Frank Caliendo doing his John Gruden, and it's fantastic.
It's so dead on.
It's so dead on. He's just brilliant, man. His Madden is great. He does so many people so good. So, anyways, that was good stuff there from Caliendo, and of course the DP show. So good stuff there, Raider Nation. All right, Mosh. Now let's get into some actual audio. We're gonna get into some actual updates from the team.
So week two of spring training. No.
Training camp.
Training camp.
Yeah.
Spring training. Jeez, I thought I was doing baseball.
Well, you did baseball for how many years? Like a million of them? Yeah. So, anyways, so week 2 of training camp. Of course, we had the game against the Rams this week. We got some fun audio from a handful of players, and of course, we are just mush mouths tonight.
We're not even drinking.
And it's late, and it's work season, so go figure. But anyway, so we're going to hear from a handful of players, and of course, Coach Gruden, Coach Buckner. But first off, Mosh, I threw this one in there. We talk about Rodney Hudson a lot.
All the time. He's one of our faves.
He's one of our faves. We love Rodney Hudson. But you don't ever hear from him much.
No.
Okay, well, here's why. He is.
What are you guys trying to do?
All about the cliche.
Where you need to be for the season.
We just got to continue to grow together. It takes a lot of work.
Number 1.
There's 5 guys up there together.
Number 3.
We got to communicate.
Number
4. Everywhere. We got to just continue to grow together. We got a few new guys, but they both experienced in the first group. So, but it's about everybody. We're trying to grow the first group, the second group, the third group. We all trying to learn and grow together.
Sorry. Go ahead. Obviously, it's a work in progress, but, do you feel like you guys are about where you want to be at this point?
Oh, yeah, we're making strides. But you never can be complacent. So we got a lot of work to do and a lot of growing together.
Sizzlers.
Yeah. Already, but it's only a matter of time. Probably pretty soon when Cooper will be elevated to the 1, so you guys can get ready for week 1. What's the process like of just being comfortable with the guy next to you?
We're just trying to work. We're just trying to work. We're not really
like me asking
forward to week 1. We're trying to, get better tomorrow. We practice today. We got to go in the meeting rooms and learn from it, see what we did good, see what we got to improve on. So I know I'm not personally, but I'm pretty sure nobody else is really looking that far ahead.
Did you watch the show last night?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
That ain't my thing. Reality TV.
Good for him.
Good for him. I know. Yeah. So I love it. So it's funny because he goes, he's literally spoken every sports cliche there is available for the entirety of that interview until the very end.
Yeah.
And that's legit, man. He's like, that ain't my thing. You know who else too? Josh Jacobs. Like he put out a tweet or something, Instagram, something, and he was like, y'all keep asking me why I'm not on Hard Knocks, and he goes, I hide from them. Like there are some players that are just like, I don't want to. Like, look, it's hard to get entirely out of the way, but you notice now we've watched episode number 1 and 2. We're going to talk more about episode 2 in a little bit. You've not seen Rodney Hudson. You've barely seen Mike Mayock. You've barely seen Josh Jacobs.
Right.
These are high-profile guys and high-profile people, and you're not even seeing them. Pretty interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so good stuff from the captain there from Rodney. Now, one guy we have seen a lot of.
One of our rapidly becoming one of our all-time
favorites. Coach Buck, man. He's one of the funniest. And so this is Coach Buck. Okay, if you've never seen a picture of Coach Buckner, I don't know how much he weighs, but I'm going to guess it's 260 plus. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, not a guy you would expect to get skinny.
Right.
Okay, but he's telling us about how to get skinny.
Look, trust me. Nobody's going to let – when you hear a guy say get skinny through the hole, you ain't all of a sudden going to run up there 320 pounds and get 130 when you get there. You got to get here and you take surface away.
Yeah.
And you get skinny through the hole. A lot of times we have blitzes where we can get through, but we don't turn, so we end up having to go wide. Get skinny through the hole. Then when I get through, I step through. I'm back to fresh out, right? So everybody snapping this way. Run full speed, then snap. There you go.
I love that. You're not going to be 130 when you're going to go in at 320 and be 130 when you get there. So good. So good. And it's funny because he's showing that technique, right? So basically he's exploding to the line of scrimmage. He's turning his body sideways and getting in between the guard and the tackle or whatever it is. They're just bags there, but essentially it would be to the guy. And so then you get through, you get skinny, you get sideways. And then once you gain that leverage inside, then you spin and pop the other way. And now all of a sudden, that's when he says, now you're in fresh air because you're on the other side of him. But watching him demonstrate the drill, he still can move. Yeah. Like he's like his late 40s or something like that, but you could he's still got, like, it's cool to watching these guys, man. And Buckner, man, we love him.
There's a bunch of them that you see that you're like, put on the pads, dude.
Yeah, like Pete Koch.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Woodson.
Oh my gosh.
God, talk about somebody that looked great.
Oh, wait, we got to save that. Yeah, we'll save that. All right, so another funny moment that came up this week was that didn't make the Hard Knocks show, but Gruden was talking about Alec Ingold, the fullback that's competing with Keith Smith, who is back now. Good job, Keith Smith, getting back from that injury, and look forward to seeing him play. But Alec, I think it's Alec, A-L-E-C. Alec Ingold is competing with Keith Smith, and Alec, he must have been a brick salesman, or his family is in selling bricks at some point.
Something masonry.
Something to go along with it, because, Coach, man, he knows every detail about every player. And so here's him yelling at Alec about his bricks.
Let's go. Let's line it up. Everybody else out of the end zone quickly. Come on, clock's running. Let's go. Hey, Abram. Don't hurt the grass. Get your ass moving. Hey, don't be a brick salesman. Don't be a brick. You can lose yardage. I need you to the front pylon. You got to get to the front pylon. You got me? You look like you're selling bricks in Ashwaubenon in there. Huh?
He kills me.
He's the best, man. All right, we got to reserve ourselves on the Hard Knocks stuff, because we're going to get to there.
Okay.
But, oh, my gosh, so funny. All right, so next up, a great interview this week with little baby Clellan.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so a couple things about Clellan that we learned about, here. First off, it's not Farrell, it's Furl.
Furl. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Furl.
So Clellan Furl.
Clellan Furl.
Okay, yeah. So
it's all one word.
Q-Dog's the one that came up with Clellan,
yeah.
which is funny, because we were calling him Cleland Farrell.
Right.
And he was like, it's Clellan, and now we know it's Furl, so it's Clellan Furl.
So it's just 2 words. Little baby. Clellan Farrell.
So anyway, he's great. He's on the panel of NFL Network. It's Andrew Siciliano. It's Steve Smith. I've got 3 clips for you on this, because he gets into, he's a fun, engaging guy. And first off, he talks about other things, but also they kind of lock into the food difference between the South, which is where we live, which we know how amazing the food is in the South, and versus food in California, which is equally good, but it's much, much different in what is good out there versus what's good down here in the South.
Cleland Farrell, what was it like to actually hit another team today? Like actually get someone else out there other than Derek Carr and your teammates?
Man, I tell you, that was a big relief, man. Anytime you get to go against somebody else, it can kind of get redundant going against the same guys every single day. You go out there, get to test your skills against another team, especially like the Rams, NFC champions. So it was really good for us as a team, I feel like.
So what was the result then? Grade yourself on how you did today.
I feel like I had a okay day. Just from my standards. I feel like the periods where we were just with the offensive line, I feel like I played pretty well. It was just going against a scheme like that. I feel like I had a couple of mishaps just mentally where I could have nipped them in the butt early, if I just would have had a little bit more time prepared for them, because they got a very good team, veteran offense, great players, so they run it to a T. So I really got your technique is the biggest thing. I feel like
you go against Andrew Whitworth?
Right. He's a really good player, yep, for sure. Known veteran in this league. I've been following him ever since he was in Cincinnati, so it was good. Heard some things from him too, so it was good.
So you at Clemson National Championship, you get drafted. Now you're in you're in California. Right. What's that transition been like?
Only thing is different is I would say is just California is very beautiful, but the food isn't the same out here like the South, I would say.
What are you missing? What does California need to make you happy?
I mean, the barbecue is a little bit better down South. Just the soul food.
I tell you what he missing.
That's soul.
He missing a grease. That's what he's missing. Grease. See, out here in Cali, man.
Salt. Most salt.
It's too much salt. Out here in Cali, man, it's sleek.
Right. Can we get you some sushi?
I'll do sushi. Yeah. You gotta have that soy sauce. I need that salt.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do that.
But it's
acai bowl. You had look.
Yeah, I tried it and it's been good. As long as it's shrimp. It can't be the raw fish. It's gotta be shrimp. You know what I mean? But it's good.
Oh man, isn't that funny?
That's great.
That's funny, man. Good stuff, man. I love it. Love it. Good stuff from Clellan Furl, and we'll get to the Furl. They get to that here in a minute. So here, in a little bit more of a serious note. We reacted, I wouldn't say negatively or adversely, but we were surprised when
shocked. There was a shock factor.
Everybody was looking for Josh Allen, and Clellan Furl showed up.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of it was jarring, right?
Sure.
When it happened. But since or after the fact, when we've learned about him, we've learned about his interactions with Mike Mayock and with the coaching staff, and obviously his career at Clemson, and so we've become more familiar with him. We get it why he was drafted,
and what a great choice it was.
Amazing choice. And one of the things that Mayock and John Gruden agreed upon was that this is one of the guys that's going to be the building blocks for the next generation of Raider greats, and they're going to build their own legacy, which is amazing. And as reverent as the Raiders are, and we are to the history of the team, it's time for this new generation to build their own legacy.
Right.
This is one of the guys that's a foundational part of that, and so they hit him with it about being a leader and what that means to him and what it means to the team.
You know, I was talking to one of your coaches, former teammate of mine, Brinson Buckner, who's your coach, D-line coach, and one of the things he gave you a great compliment. He said you're like a Mike Rucker, right? Professional, about his business, and just comes to work every single day and doesn't take any plays off.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, appreciate that from Coach Buck. You know, I feel like nobody. I'm the hardest on myself, but I feel like nobody is as hard on me as he is, man. He tried to get it out of me every single day, but I feel like that just comes from my love for the game. You know what I mean? It's just at a young age I understood, you know, what I wanted from this game and how I felt about this. So, and I'm blessed to be in this position. Not everybody get a chance to come out here and do what I get to do for fun and to make it a career, a lifestyle. I mean, you know what it is. It's people out there that can't walk every day. So it's just not trying to take things for granted. So,
well, a lot of people were surprised when the Raiders took you where they took you. Obviously, you weren't surprised, I would assume. But the one thing that stood out to me was when Mike Mayock, your GM, said he took you because he wanted you to help establish a new culture here. When you heard that, how did you take that? That's a lot on a rookie.
I mean, I feel like it can be, but I feel like the biggest thing he told me was just be myself. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the biggest thing. I don't try to be nobody else, and I feel like, you know, I can just be a positive influence on anybody or any team, you know, just because I feel like I'm about the right things. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a big compliment, but I was just excited just to get the opportunity, and now I'm actually in the thick of it with my teammates. And I ain't perfect. I'm still got a lot of things to learn as a first-year player, but that's the biggest thing. I don't see myself as a rookie. That can kind of get a bad connotation, but I see myself as just a first-year player in a new setting. Got learning curves like everybody, but you know, I'm trying to take this thing by the hands, by the horn. So I'm just excited to get started.
So what do you think about that, Mosh? I mean, I love his comments, and I really took note of when he said, I don't look at myself as a rookie because that could have a negative connotation.
I love
to it.
that.
And that's pretty legit,
I love
right?
that. Yeah, that's that old soul mentality. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
It's good stuff,
it's hard because there's some guys out there that have got years on him, you know, and playing experience, and to come in with that mindset that they want me to be a leader, I'm going to let my play show that I can do it. And I'm going to have the right mindset. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. And we need it. You know, we have leaders on offense. We know we have Derek Carr and Rodney Hudson. But when, you know, Mac departed, I think, honestly, and I genuinely mean this, I think the biggest impact to our team with him leaving was the absence then of a very distinct leader on the defensive side of the ball.
Sure.
And now we got Vontaze Burfict, and now going to be Clelin Ferrell, and so I'm excited for him and this young man. I think we got a lot to look forward to with him. All right, so in the first episode of Hard Knocks, one of the funniest moments was him and Jonathan Abram riding horses, right?
Yeah.
And they're holding hands and they're singing that song from the from the Wayans Brothers TV show from back in the 90s.
Right.
And it's so dang funny. And so they started this, so they hit him with it. They asked him about it, and he was a really good sport.
You had up here before. They got at it a little bit. You guys were riding horses, and, and the final shot, you guys are holding hands when riding horses.
That's sweet.
Hey, ain't nothing. Hey. Watch your words. Now I know you the dog. Watch your words.
I just thought it was a touching scene. That's all.
Look, they didn't have the cameras right there, but came from a movie scene that we was going over. You know what I mean? Everybody watches the Wayans brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're brother, we're happy, we're singing. Yeah. And that was an episode from that movie, so we was just playing that episode. Yeah. It wasn't nothing like that, but it was.
No, that's why we brought you on to explain it.
No, but that was
definitely. Brought you on?
That was definitely a great tie. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Response to that.
People can take it how they want it.
Hey, I was fine with it. I just didn't like Jonathan saying salmon. It's just.
He also, Jonathan told me he said, how does it feel to go across the middle and get your, spleen
ruptured or something?
Yeah, that's
trying
what he
to take
said.
him out.
He was going to do it if I come back and play.
Oh, I mean, I would love to see that if you can. I would love to see him do that too.
Are you trying to say that you think he can do it, or you just want to see me come back and go at it with him?
I mean,
you were in Clemson now, so you saw it firsthand.
I did.
And I know the adage we all built from the same cloth.
I say this: want too many players like you. I had a lot of respect for you. I grew up a Baltimore fan too. You know what I mean? But hey, we trying to set our own identity over here. You know what I mean? So it don't matter who step on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's our time now.
Awesome.
So.
I think we both see what Mike Mayock was talking about when he said about you're the guy to help build the culture when he took you that night in April.
What he is? He's a tone setter.
It's a tone setter.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Mr. Furl.
Thank you.
Got it right. It's Furl. Cleveland Furl of the Oakland Raiders.
And now, so check this out. So Steve Smith is an intense dude, man.
Sure.
He's I think just about fought everybody on the NFL Network and was willing to fight every cornerback he ever matched up against when he was in his playing days. He's one of those guys that would have been a perfect Raider.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Love Steve Smith Sr. And so what I dug there was that because him and Abram kind of got into it, they were gotten a little mouthy with each other, whatever. It was. I think it was more playful than what people took it as.
Right.
But so they bring that up, and I love it that they kind of put Clellan on the spot there, and he backed his guy.
Absolutely,
he backed his guy, and he said, "You know what? I would have loved to have seen it, and as much as I respect you, we're trying to do our own thing." And that's where it was like, as much as again to go back there, as much as we're reverent about the Raiders' past. They're taking all comers. They're not scared of anybody.
No.
And I love that. That's the way it should be.
That's the leadership we're looking for.
Yes, absolutely. I can respect you for what you did in the league, Steve Smith. You're an intense dude. I mean, and he didn't bat an eye. He didn't break eye contact. Boom. He was right there with them, man. And you know what Steve did? That's why you're a tone setter.
Yep.
He respected him back for not backing down.
Cool,
I thought
man.
that was great, man. That was a great moment of television there, and so major props to Cleveland Farrell and Furl, and just can't wait, man, for watch this guy dominate.
Week 1, ended with the Rams.
The Rams. So we beat the Rams 14-3, and we got to hear Coach talk a little bit about the game.
We're going to go to Arizona. It's a short week. The plan is to play the starters. Don't know how long, but I want to get ready to rumble. Are you guys with me on that? Let's hear it for Trayvon Mullen. He's going to be a dad, man. Let me tell you something. We had 20 veterans go out to dinner the other night. We had about 50 other young players play off tonight, but it's going to be rookies like this and old men like you, Westbrook, that make this season special, man. So let's get Trayvon in here for a break. Let's break it up.
Let's go. Family on me, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so cool.
I love it that that when in the post game in the locker room, breaking down a win, and very little to do with performance. It's all about family. It's the way they ended. So
he humanized it.
He humanized it. It's the way they ended episode number 1 of Hard Knocks with family. It's all about, and look, that's what Raider Nation is all about, man. It's one big giant family, and from the team on down to us fans, man. I thought it was brilliant stuff there from Coach.
Nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook more than 6th-year linebacker Phil Villapiano.
Linebacker, number 41, Phil Villapiano.
This is Phil Villapiano, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, Uncle Mosh, we ready to get into it?
Ooh, I might have to go.
Okay, well, you go. you go, and I'll hit the button here.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
If you're a listener to this show, you're gonna get absolutely sick of hearing us play that John Gruden clip because it. Okay.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
It's just the best, man. That moment from Hard Knocks absolutely cracked me up. So last night, so it was episode 2 of Hard Knocks. Had a lot of fun. I sat down with both my boys and watched the show. And man, when it got to that, there was a lot of moments of episode 2 that were very, very funny. But when it got to that moment and he dropped that when he was yelling at Nathan Peterman, all three of us just absolutely fell out and had to pause the episode, man, because we were cracking up so much. It was just such a great part of the show, and it really just, Gruden's personality has just absolutely shined. He's unfiltered, and it's just really refreshing to see Coach like that, to see him completely unfiltered in that way. And of course, they kick off every episode with Coach Gruden. So I'm going to digress for a minute, and before we kick off our episode of our segment on Hard Knocks, let's go ahead and kick off our segment with the way that they kicked off episode number 2.
Good evening, man. Good evening. Just some notes here, man. The first week of training camp is in the books, man. 1 week is down. All right, like everybody just stand up, welcome each other to the second week of training camp, man. All right, second week of training camp. Yeah, on a serious note now, I like where we're going, I like what we're doing, but as I said at the beginning, the second week, it's time for us to raise the bar now. Are we clear on that? We got to raise the bar. I want to practice with better etiquette, okay? Stay off the ground, stay away from the quarterback. I want the backs and receivers to finish runs, okay? I want better etiquette. But more than anything, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better fucking execution. I want you to get a little bit pissed off. All right, not a lot of people expect very much from us. Do they? Do they? You've been reading about us? Not a lot of people expect enough from us. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of reading about it. It's time for you to stick your foot up somebody's ass, man. I'm looking for relentless, every situation strain. I want everybody to pick it up tonight because we're capable of being a great football team.
Anybody that thinks rookie Abram disrespected or stood up to John Gruden or looked him in the eye and punked him out or called him, or anybody that took that for more than it was didn't see that episode, doesn't know John Gruden, has no clue about the reason he got a 10-year, $100 million contract. You got to take reality TV for what it is. I don't care if it's the NFL or Duck Dynasty. Reality TV is what it is. And, when you got a personality like Abram, and he can go and he can yuck and he can do all that for the camera and all that, and it's all fun and games, but I promise you, he knows that side of Coach Gruden.
Yeah.
And he ain't about to he'll play with him, but he ain't about to disrespect him. No. So you can just put that out of your brain. Because that was so awesome.
Instantly it was like, hey, welcome to camp week 2.
Shake hands.
And all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah, I'm calling the shots. This is what we got to do. You want to play? Let's play. Let me show you how.
He definitely cranked up the intensity. And did you what did you think about, look, I mentioned last week about the dynamic range between the humor and the more serious moments. What did you think this week? I felt like it were still some very funny moments like this.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
Right, so there's that. But then you have just like that opening series there, and amongst others, where did you feel like the intensity was dialed up, like more so top to bottom this episode versus the last?
I promise that his script for training camp has these things in it. He's got that first week, welcome everybody, give everybody a chance, pat him on the back, kick him in the ass, tell him you love him, and then the next week it's, okay, you got all the hugs and the kisses and everything out of the way the first week. I still love you, but now my foot's going to stay in your butt a little bit longer because it's coming down to who wants to play, who wants to watch on Sunday. And, he knows this is not his first training camp. He knows where he has to be each week, and next week is going to be even more intense. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's a great point.
It's true. This training camp is just as scripted as anything, as every single second of what they're doing on the field. That's why he has 23 people in that coach's room with him.
Yeah.
And there's no, okay, well, maybe, I need time with defense today. No, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. This is the level we're going to take it to. It's an interesting point that you bring up because in week 1, we saw alumni weekend. We saw all the families. We saw very limited padded practices. We saw the players arriving and kind of unpacking. You're right. It was very light in terms of again intensity. There was a lot of kumbaya, a lot of hey, look. But you're right. I mean, yes, a couple guys got cut, but for the most part, the overall feeling was pretty. It was a lot of camaraderie going on. But you're right. That's the difference. Is that now it's like, okay, now we're freaking working. We're effing working. It's. You know what I mean? And you and I have both coached, and we've coached on the same team, and I've worked for you. And when we had the little kids out there, and we had moms and dads out there, and hey, Dad, come out here, help us shag balls. Hey, moms, we even had a game one time where we had our 7-year-olds playing against the parents.
Yeah.
And we had a blast with that. But when it was game time, those parents didn't come near our dugout.
No.
And it wasn't like you and I were beasts, but the kids had to understand there's one person you listen to. And I've heard you tell me and tell other coaches, let me do the yelling. Let them hear my voice. I'm the guy on third base. Let me be the one telling them when to run, who to throw the ball to. So there's that level of, okay, this is fun and we're doing this for the enjoyment, but now we're in a game situation, and that's what they were bucking up to. They were prepping for that LA game, and the same thing's going to be this week as they're prepping for Arizona. So it's all part of it,
That's a great point. So who would so with that intensity and so obviously Gruden is the freaking star of this show. There's no mistake in that.
No mistake.
There's a lot of players that have hidden from the cameras, as we mentioned. There's a lot of guys like Jacobs and Hudson and Mayock and guys that kind of shy away from the attention of the cameras. Who is it to you has been, aside from Gruden, a standout? What players or coaches have stood out to you?
That's Coach Buck, man.
It's Buck?
I love him. I love the guy. I love it. I love when he said when he got his guys around him, man, and it's another example of they showed it, and his guys were getting beat, and one of the guys came in and said, "Oh yeah, man, but the tight end, and he's like, "Don't tell me what the tight end did. Don't tell me what they did. I don't care what they did. I'm concerned with what you can do."
Yeah.
And he addressed all of them. And he said, that's how you lose games, is by worrying about what they do. You win games by doing, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you win games by doing what you can do. You know how to do that. And even the announcer said, yeah, after he lit that fire, then they went out and did the right thing. And then later on, about a half an hour later into the show, it shows him hitting all his guys on the head saying, do your best. Do what God intended you to do. Go, so
that was freaking cool.
That was
It
great.
was almost like he was anointing them in the freaking huddle, man. That was amazing.
So awesome.
That was
and
very
did.
Cool.
They did great.
Yeah.
But these guys are bringing up there's a reason, and I'm all over the place, but
I love it, Mosh.
There's a reason that alumni weekend happens at the beginning.
Oh, man.
Yes. There's a reason for that. There's a reason they bring all those guys in. There's a reason Guy Ferretti was there that first week.
And Jeezy and all those people.
And the ones that get it, my guy Doss, they asked him, well, who you bringing in? And he's like, well, I'm going to bring in, mom and dad and blah, grandparents, blah, blah. Bring any girls? No. The smart ones, the smart players, aren't going to bring in the distractions.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to get it. And that registered with Gruden. I promise that registered with Gruden.
That's a good point, too. See, that's the coach's perspective that you bring. Because, while you deferred to me for a minute there when we were coaching kids, but you coached scholastic athletes for many, many, many years, and you have a different perspective. And I think it's a unique perspective that professional coaches, not guys like chuckleheads like me that just, volunteer their time on the weekends, but guys like you that actually did it for a living for a long, long time. You bring that perspective. You're right, because I didn't pick that up. That that's what, and do you think that was intentional by Gruden? Or do you think that
I don't think Gruden does anything that's not intentional.
Wow, okay,
but that and
you're right, because that's such a strong message from Keelan Doss to Coach Gruden, isn't it?
Oh, buddy, yeah,
that went way over my head. I didn't even pick that up.
And Gruden tries to laugh it off. I'll bet you got lots of girls, and he's go, yeah, I got a few, and he goes, right on. Gruden says, yeah, right on, but it registered. This kid ain't bringing them in. And then later on, he asked him, how many tickets you got? How many tickets you get? And he said, 2.
Yeah.
And he had more than that. But he didn't talk about it. He didn't bring that up. And who knows if Doss really did all that? If he really did not bring in distraction people.
Right.
But I don't know.
That was a great moment. Hey, so him catching that touchdown pass was obviously a great moment. Peterman's run, that 51-yard run, Nathan Peter Vick, as I've been calling him, that was a great run.
Yeah, but he wasn't the quarterback I was impressed with.
You love you some Mike Glennon.
You know why? Because he's got that big long neck like Peyton.
If it wasn't for the neck, he'd be 5'10".
But he's not. He's 6'7", and he can see the whole field. And when he threw that
bomb,
he
can sling it, man.
Holy crap. That was
J.J. Nelson adjusting to the ball and everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he can sling it. So give me your player. So in terms of players, right? So obviously, we Keelan Doss is a favorite.
Love him.
Glennon is a favorite. Peterman, interesting. I mean, the run was great. What about Max Crosby? Tell me what you thought about the whole.
How awesome. I mean, all I'm thinking of is Jim Otto playing with a broken leg.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, hey, it's broken. All right. Just hurry up. Put a cast on it. Let's go. I got to go.
He never even winced.
No. Yeah. He goes, it's a noodle. It's broke. Okay, it's broke. And he cursed a little bit. And he's like, okay. Well, we can put a cast on it. You can get back in. All right, let's do it. Let's go. And so have you seen the report on that?
No, I haven't. I mean, because he's going to play.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to play. So like it's like 4 weeks or whatever, and he's going to play. So no, I haven't seen nothing over the past couple of days, anyways.
But yeah. I mean, what a stud! What a stud!
Yeah.
I mean, our guys, man.
That was awesome.
It's the mindset is there. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
and I like his tattoos.
Yeah. All right. So one last question for you, Mosh, before we move on to see a fan's mailbag. I want to ask you about the elephant in the room, right? The man's feet. We saw the picture on Instagram, and now I know why we didn't see it week 1. They were saving it, right?
Sure,
they were saving it. That was going to be and what's interesting to me is that, and I promise I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but when it comes to Antonio Brown's feet and this helmet scandal that never got going, because they were non-stories. He was very innocently hurt his feet. He wanted to keep his old helmet and made some offhand comments that the media took those two things and completely blew it out of proportion. And again, I'm going to save the soapbox. You want to hear the soapbox? Go to Mondays with Mikey and Murph.
Absolutely. The first 15 minutes is all you need to listen to.
I get on it plenty there, right? Yeah. And so, but I will say this. It diffused, this episode diffused all of that. We now know, and that's the cool thing about Hard Knocks, and we said this going in, Raider Nation, you're not going to have to speculate. You're not going to have to wonder what's really going on. You're going to see it. So we saw it. So tell me what you thought about Antonio Brown's mindset, response, kind of his overall disposition towards this, because I'll give you mine just briefly. I was impressed. The way that he was, we know the man's work ethic. I mean, we know that he's dedicated to continuing his training even through this. That it made me more of this is in a nutshell. I'm more of an Antonio Brown fan now seeing this episode than I was before, and I was becoming a big fan prior.
So I look at I gotta take the man at his word, okay? You're not going to try to pull a scam. You're not going to be a diva when you got $30 million on the line. If you decide to walk away or hobble away or whatever you do, it costs the Raiders nothing. Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing. It costs them what it costs to feed you, you know?
Yeah.
And he probably eats well. You know, so it probably didn't cost him a fortune. You know, this isn't Richie Incognito, you know? So
this isn't 2 dozen donuts and a bag of Doritos.
Absolutely. So, I loved when Richie said, hey, don't get wound up. Just count to 10. I learned that in counseling. I loved when he said
so
that.
Funny, man.
Anybody that can laugh at themselves like that,
Amen.
that's my guy right there.
Yeah.
But, you know, when he was talking, when he was sitting on the grass and he's dripping wet from sweat, and he's pulling off his socks, and he's showing his feet, and he's talking about the accident and how it happened in France when he was on vacation, and anybody that would think that was his fault or he did it on purpose is an idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Nobody's going to risk that. Nobody has that much money. Nobody has that much security that they're going to risk injuring their tool. It's not going to happen. So when he was saying he couldn't stand, so he did his workouts on his butt.
Crawling.
His crawling was the word he used. I worked out crawling. Okay, you're serious.
That blew my mind.
You're serious. So
yeah.
The other thing I want to bring up is they go, oh, Antonio Brown left camp. Antonio Brown didn't just say, wake up one morning and go, I'm out of here. There was a conversation.
Yes.
This is a $30 million guy.
Yes.
He's got his doctor was in France with him because his doctor treated his doctor treated his feet the very first day. He talked about lancing it with the scissors and draining it and all that. His doctor was there. So he's got people that are saying, and they're in conversations with Mayock, and they're in conversations with Coach, and they're going, the best thing for him to do would be to leave camp. Where did he go to leave camp? Do you think he just went and hung out? No. He went and got his feet continued to get rehab. He still worked out. He still studied his plays. Oh, my gosh. People, seriously?
I know. They got to stop it, man. And we say it at nauseum at times. It's often frequent that we talk about this stuff. And here's one of the big misnomers that, you know, look, we're gonna stand on our soapboxes and dispel this until one day it's gone. If you think that the players and coaches and the owners don't have conversations and communication, you're horribly wrong, because at the end of the day, an NFL team is a corporation. It's a franchise of the NFL, of the National Football League. And I work for a large corporation. There's a lot of people that work for large corporations. You work for the friggin' government. Guess what? We're not always at our peak efficiency, and we're human beings and we make mistakes, but there's a high level of communication that's going on.
All the time.
Antonio Brown, future Hall of Famer, the best receiver in all of football, $30 million guaranteed, doesn't just wake up and walk out of camp.
Exactly.
If you think that these people aren't communicating with one another, I'm with you. You're an idiot.
It's gonna come out that while he was gone, he was fixing his feet. He was working on his feet. He was.
It's just silly. It's sillier when people are like, "Oh, Mark Davis and John Gruden are at odds." Says who? You don't know.
Show me the proof.
Yeah, you think these people aren't talking to each other? You think these guys don't have an awareness of one another? You don't think that John Gruden knows what Mike Mayock's doing and vice versa?
Absolutely.
And Coach Buckner and Greg Olson and Paul Gunther? You think that these are just a bunch of Lone Rangers doing their own thing? No, that's not how it works. That's not how corporate structure works. That's not how coaching structure works. It's absolutely. Oh man, here we go.
Fans.
Okay, thank you. Jeez, Mosh, back on the damn soapbox. Where's the frickin' button?
Hit the button.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he throws. It is.
All right, welcome to the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is our favorite segment of the show. We have lots of favorites, but this is certainly one of them. And this is where we get to interact with you, Raider Nation. Get to interact with the members of the RFR community. RFR community. And so anyway, we appreciate each and every one of you, and you can always contact us 2 different ways, especially. You can call us at 909-345-3346. Leave us a message, and if we play your message 3 times on the show, you become what we refer to as a made man or a made woman, and that is basically that means you're kind of you're part of the crew, man. You know, you become part of the crew. So please contact us that way, or you can email us at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. We have a lot of emailers to the show, a lot of overseas emailers because it's quite expensive to call the U.S.
Absolutely.
So most of our emailers are from the U.K. or we hadn't heard from our buddy Rico in the Canary Islands for a while.
Yeah, I hope he's all right.
Love to hear from him. But anyway, so we hear from a lot of our folks in the UK, and this is just a great way to contact us. You know, Mosh, let me say this real fast. We had a lot of social media interaction this week.
We did.
Folks were fired up about the AB stuff and all that, and as much as I love the fact that you trust us enough to reach out to us for our opinion by sending us a message on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or all the various social media aspects or outlets that there are, please rely on these 2 outlets, on the voicemail line and on the emailing, because it then allows us to interact with you on the air, and then everyone can hear the interaction. And I think that's important, is that, again, I'm thankful that you do that. You think enough of us, and I don't want you to stop interacting with us, but just do it in a way where we can make it a little more public. That way everybody can kind of share in the communication, because it's important, because we care what you have to say. You know what I mean? We care, and we want to share it with the rest of the RFR community. So, all right, so we want to do first, Mosh. You want to do emails?
Well, the first person we always hear from, I always like to kick everything off with listening to Capo. And
okay, so of the made men, you got to have a captain of the made men. We call him the capo, right?
Yeah, and he always kind of kicks us off. So we'll hear from the capo first, and here we go.
I preface this call by saying, no, I have not watched the current episode of Hard Knocks. Greetings. Here the Q-Dog Radio Capo coming to you from the great state of Texas. Murph, Mosh, Sonny, Little Murph, Sergeant at Arms, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo Raider, salute. Raider Ramon with only 1, maybe 2 calls banked. Step your game up, homie. Raider Homer, B-Dog in a pasture. Running Bear. Chucktown Raider. Raider Juan. Dead Scroll Steve, the historian. Mikey, the master debater Raider. Looks so much bigger on TV. But anyway, Monster Mash Ken. Full Metal Mexican. My man. And the ever-growing presence in the Dega Dungeon. Rev Raider. New Jersey love, homie. Kevin, the Raider nerd. Hope you made it out to the west side, homie. Super Deuce. Manny Bruce. Salvador. The Mater Raider Ron and Alliance. Johnny in San Diego, where you be, baby? Eye Patch. Hardcore Raider. Splatterhead Fitz Potts. Watch Raider. Much love, homie. His Lordship, Paul Egerton, and all of his titles. 24 Karat Kev, Wyoming Raider. Johnny in San Diego. Listen, can we get off the collective media ledge as a nation? I mean, much like 45, AB has dominated the media cycle with his hoof and mouth. Dare I say a disease? Did anyone notice that we won? We beat the Lambs in a preseason football game. Now, let's focus. We got Perfect and Incognito on our roster, and we're worried about AB? Lord, I say it again, You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been led astray, run amok. Listen, his foot didn't land on us. His helmet did. I'm trying to tell you, man. Get a grip. Breathe, nation, breathe. Look, I don't want to watch any more of this banter on any of the media outlets if you can find that. And you know what? The hit list, let's go ahead and put the media executive who decided to put the Niners and the Cowboys on instead of our Raiders this weekend. And also put anybody that says that they don't watch NFL football because the players got all political, which is code for black guys who are standing up for themselves. Oh, and respect to Swag Jeff. Finally, I acknowledge you. I said it. Now hit the button, nerd.
Capo, he had to do his research to get all those names right.
God. Wasn't that brilliant?
How funny.
Brilliant.
He just kills me.
He brought it, man.
So funny.
Absolutely. But if he's not eligible for Sizzler Awards anymore, we give our Sizzler Award every week to the best caller. And so Aaron knows he's not eligible for it. But
my gosh.
That was fire, man.
That was so funny because I know Swag's listening and he's going, man, that guy hates me. Why does that guy hate me? Because you know how sensitive he is anyway. Sensitive, Jeff. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That was so good.
I love it. Way to go.
Everything, Aaron, there, man. You know what? I agree with you. Man. Everything you had to say, and we're honored to call you our capo, man.
You're the best.
He's the best, and I'm so thankful too. Aaron is going to sit with us at the Raider game this year. So we got a big crew, big RFR crew going out to the game. I meant to talk about this earlier, and I think we kind of hovered over it, but we didn't get into it. That we're going to the game on November 3rd. We're going to the Lions game, and so it's going to be so the four of us that are going to be at the Bolitnikoff dinner. It's going to be you and me and Sonny and Swago, and then the next day, or not next day, that following Sunday at the Lions game, it's going to be the four of us plus our other cousin Ryan, plus my buddy from back home Harley, and Aaron the Q-Dog Raider is going to be with us, man. I am so excited. We're going to have a blast. We're going to have a block of seats there, man.
Oh, my gosh, that's going to be so much fun.
We're going to park in the A-lot. We're going to go hang out with Kenny and Che. We're going to go hang out with the Black Hole and the tailgate there.
We're going to eat our brains out.
Dang brains out and walk around and smell
gosh,
all the carne asada and the we'll just call it tree smoke. You know what I mean? That happens in the parking lot. But it's going to be so much fun, man. And I'm so glad that Aaron has become a good friend to us, not only on the show but off the show as well. And we got to spend so much fun time with him at the draft. And I'm glad we get to go see a game with him. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. So great job, Capo.
Hey, so got some emails here. First one, evening, guys. Hope you're well. I hope Murph is a little calmer tonight than he was with Mikey on Monday's show. Man, Murph, you were on fire.
I had a few moments there.
Yeah, you did. Isn't it great to have some football? Absolutely. Another preseason is finally with us, and the excitement is building as we get to see the guys fighting for their future, and it's all fueled this year by having Hard Knocks running between games. How good is Hard Knocks, by the way? I always wanted to see the Raiders on the show, and it hasn't disappointed. Me too. The game against the Rams was intriguing, with some good and bad to think about. It may only have been a preseason victory, but I always believe that winning breeds momentum and belief, which can go a long way moving forward, especially with the younger guys who can build belief in themselves, their teammates, and the coaching staff, as well as the playbook. Murph mentioned my favorite part of the night on Mondays with Mikey and Murph. Hearing Matt Millen on commentary was a wonderful thing after everything he's been through. Very emotional. Welcome home, number 55. At the time of this writing, I see Johnny Townsend has been released. Can't say I'm disappointed, and thanks to Q-Dog for persisting with his hit list. Coach Gruden obviously listens to the show. Finally, tonight, Mikey asked Murph who he thought should light the torch at the final game in Oakland. I'd like to see Coach Madden and Coach Flores on one side, with Jim Plunkett and Kendra, Alexa, and Marissa Stabler on the other. Holy mackerel, that's strong.
That's good.
Our success represented by the leaders that took us to the promised land. Thanks as always for your work. Love your Raider Nation. Paul Egerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Paulie Award winner from 2019, Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, and the one-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio Sizzler Award.
Whoa,
good
that was a
job.
Great email, Paul.
Man, fantastic lineup there.
Yeah, I love that. What do you think? Let me ask you, because Mikey did ask me who I thought would be the guy to light the torch, or the guy or gal or whoever.
Well, but you got folks that are on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore. You know,
right?
you got Coach Madden, you got Coach Flores, you got Plunkett, you got
Willie Brown.
But I'm talking about in just what he's saying.
Oh, and
his
what Paul's
group.
Stuff was. Yeah.
And Stabler represented.
And that was cool, man. Yeah, having his daughters. Yeah,
oh my gosh,
that would be strong. Yeah, that'd be good,
crazy.
man.
I don't know. That's a tough call. I think it's a political thing a little bit. I don't know I don't know.
That's what I thought too, because Mikey said, "Well, they should have the fans. They should have, and I don't disagree. It'd be nice if it was Violator and Gorilla Rilla and those, you know what I mean? Because really, it's 1 and 1A or 1A and 1B, whatever. In terms of, to me, and this is not to disparage any of the other wonderful super fans, Keith Smith and El Kukui, and there's so many guys, and gals, that Black Widow, and there's a lot of them that we respect and love. But in terms of like the OG, like the ultimate super fans, to me, it's Gorilla Rilla and it's Violator.
Right,
it's those,
right,
those two guys. Okay, so as much as I would love to see them like the torch, Violator started in L.A. Like, he didn't start off as an Oakland guy. So I don't associate him with Oakland. And so while I appreciate the sentiment, like you said, it could be a little political. I don't think it's going to be a fan thing. And so who is synonymous with Oakland? Well, Madden started and stopped his coaching career when his won Super Bowl with the Oakland freaking Raiders in that Coliseum. So that to me is where my mind went, because even Flores, even though he had a lot of connections to Oakland, he still won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Raiders. And nothing wrong with the LA Raiders. It's just not Oakland. So to me, it's got to be something synonymous with freaking Oakland. I think.
I see something really cool. A lot like what he said. I see Coach Madden there with the group that was possibly there for alumni weekend. Coach Madden leading the Raiders alumni.
So Biletnikoff, Villapiano, Willie Brown, Art Shell.
All of them. Bring them back. Plunkett. Bring them all back.
Well, Plunkett wasn't there for Madden, but I'm with you.
But I'm saying, though, but bring the
I got you.
Invite those alumni. Invite Pete Koch, even though he was an L.A. Raider. Doesn't matter. Bring the franchise alumni back.
That's it.
And who better to throw the torch to the flame? The guy that inducted Kenny Stabler.
Yeah, Madden surrounded by former players. That's it. That's it. I think that anything else is going to be a letdown compared to that.
So write that down, because,
Nostradamus
has called it once again. All right, here we go. We got another email. So looking forward to seeing who plays and how they play on Thursday versus the Cardinals. I hope we see some of Jacobs. In other news, loving how Gruden and company are handling the media storm that flies around our Raiders daily, especially the way they've handled all the AB media-generated dramas. Good call. Got to say that John Gruden has really shown a different level of leadership this season compared to last season, and I think it's going to make all the difference as the season plays out. I agree with that, but we weren't there for Hard Knocks last year. Even though Derek says, hey, it's different than last year, but he's got a different breed of cat he's trying to change.
Yes,
true, right?
Yes.
Anyway, that's enough for me. Shout out to the RFR family. Love you guys, and one day we shall drink a beer and watch a game together. Shout out to the mini black hole, Stevie, Annie, Heather, Haley, Colin, King Louie, and Daisy. Much love. Shout out to SBUK. See you guys soon. And remember, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our Raiders.
Nicely done.
All right.
Is that Kev?
That's Kev in Scotland.
Right.
He goes on to, he has an addition because he thought maybe Google Earth, or no, what is it?
Google Voice.
Google Voice might have got his email,
so
but
Gmail got him.
So Gmail got him. He says, Uncle Mosh, you got to do this in your best Mel Gibson Braveheart impression, as this is the quote from the movie. LOL, haha. Well,
nice.
My Mel Gibson impression is usually from the movie What Women Want. But anyway,
Hey-o.
You guys, sorry for the late edition, but I've just watched the latest episode of Hard Knocks and have got to get this off my chest. Chucky in the house. Oh my goodness. That opening scene, the speech, the fire, the passion. I spat out my cereal and was fist pumping like we had just won a game. I love it. Episode 2 was off the chain. Great to see how we came back after a horrible day 1 practice versus the Lambs to absolutely dominate and smash them in day 2 and then beat their asses on that Saturday.
Yeah.
Great to see how Mad Max breaks his hand and can't wait to get back out there and play. That's a Raider right there, folks. I love this kid already. Also, how about Johnny Abram? We saw him in a different light in this episode. Maturity, leadership, hard work. I can see a bright future for this dude. Anyway, Catch you guys later. As always, love the show and appreciate all that you guys do. Just win, baby. Kevin Scotland with 2 emails.
Awesome. Nice job. That might be the first time we've gotten back-to-back emailers in one episode. Great job, Kev. All right, so still staying in the UK, man. I love it. We got another one from I believe Haley, right?
So hey guys.
Oh, did I give you the same one twice?
Yeah, you did, but that's okay.
Okay,
I took care of it. I can handle papers.
You got it.
Hey guys, hope you are all good. Just finished watching episode 1 of Hard Knocks for the second time. Man, I loved it. I'm all for nightmares now. I've not listened to episode 136 yet, but since Hard Knocks is shown a few days after the U.S. here in Scotland, I imagine episode 1 has already been discussed. So I'll leave it there. What is it with this Antonio Brown drama over helmets? Is it people hating on the Raiders? Yes, Haley. Or is he generally threatening to retire? No, Haley. Hopefully, by the time the next show airs, it will all be resolved and he will be back training.
It was.
He never quit training, honey. If he was generally throwing a strap over the helmet, put your toys back in the pram, put on an approved helmet, and get to work. We have the playoffs to make. We are the Raiders, though.
Nice.
If it wasn't this, I'm sure it would be something else.
That's true.
Absolutely. Preseason starts in just over 3 hours. 1 a.m. start here, but I'm going to watch. Catch some of the younger guys and just be good to have some football on the TV again.
Yes.
Much love as always, Raider Nation. Just win, baby. Haley, Queen Haley of Scotland. First RFR made woman. You go, Hales.
I love it, man. That's great.
All right.
Great job, Haley.
She did a great job.
She did a great job. Isn't that funny how this is, I'm not getting on the soapbox, but it's funny how, like, the things that were relevant last week are irrelevant now this week. And it's just funny how they float these things out there and we pick them up and run. And it's you know, it's out of love because Raider Nation, look, we love our football team, man. We love our football team. We're so dedicated and so passionate about our football team that we get ourselves all freaked out. I got to admit, Mosh, I was even a little on edge for a minute about the Antonio Brown thing. I wasn't worried about it, but it was like because of all the drama surrounding it, I kind of got a little bit edgy. I even yelled at my brother and hung up on him.
Yeah, but we do that all the time anyway.
That's true. All right, let's go next. Let's get to the callers. First up, we're going to hear from our buddy, Hardcore Raider.
Murph, Uncle Moss, Q the Cat Dog, and Swag Jeff. The Hardcore Raider coming at you. Just got a couple of things here. I might have 2 calls, but I think it's some good stuff, so hopefully we can get to both of them. I'll try to make it as quick as I can. Want to ask you guys and see if you guys do donations for the fundraising you guys are doing, other than just buying a shirt. So let me know if there's a way me or anybody else from Raider Nation can do that. Next up, I think maybe Swag Jeff, give him like a 3 to 5 minute segment for his episode numbers. Although I have my own takes, it seems like he might be having some good content. But episode 137, this is what I got. So Swag Jeff, you better bring your game. Episode 137, we got 137 days from today before our last game is played as the Oakland Raiders against the Broncos. Good. It's going to be an away game, but that potentially could be our last game ever played in Oakland. Unless we make the playoffs. I agree with Murph about 99% of the time, but I disagree with you, Murph, on what you said about the Raiders need to go to the Patriots Stadium and play them in the playoffs. Now, I believe, their last game was played at Foxborough, and that was the last game ever played at their stadium was against our Raiders. And now, if we play it in the playoffs, that potentially could be our last game ever played in Oakland at our stadium in Oakland, So that would be, I think, the icing on the cake to get our redemption and break Brady's legs and have him come through the black hole. So, I believe Brady needs to come to our house this time and our last game in Oakland. As far as it be, I usually support the players 100%, but, I'm struggling with this one a little bit. I understand the helmet and all that stuff. My main take is just it's a lot of unnecessary heat and hate brought on Raider Nation, and he's only been like one practice suited up. And, it's just a lot of extra, stuff going on right now before we even have a chance, and the season hasn't even started. So that's just really frustrating. However, their hot takes and all that, their sources are questionable. The only person that can have that kind of information on AB would be a player, and that would mean it has to be one of two players that have already been cut. If Raider Nation thought that we were going to go riding off in the sunset on a white horse because Raiders were betrayed in a positive fashion, through Hard Knocks, and if we thought that was going to be able to be put out there without them coming at us 100-fold, I mean, Raider Nation, we're lying to ourselves, and we better have seen that coming. You better see more hate coming. We're going to get so much more hate. It's going to be unreal. So just prepare, you guys.
Google Voice has claimed you.
Got him. Google Voice is undefeated here on Raiders Fan Radio, but we appreciate Hardcore Raider calling in from Colorado. He's behind the enemy lines, Mosh, there in Denver. But a couple things there that he brought up. First off, thank you very much for bringing that up. If there's another way to donate besides buying the shirt, yes, you can send money to our PayPal. It's murph@RaidersFanRadio.com, MURF at RaidersFanRadio.com, and anything that I get to there, I set that PayPal up for the sales of our shirts, but you can donate money there. You could send money there directly, and every single penny that goes into that PayPal goes into the Bolitnikoff Fund. So everything. So if you don't feel like buying a shirt and you just want to send money to go to Bolitnikoff, I assure you that all of the money that you would ever send there will go directly to them. So thank you very much for asking that. And then you know what? Of course, we love it when people disagree with us because we're fans of alternate opinions. It's not just it may be we may be the host of this show, but we're all about the airing other ideas, and I love that. I still would rather beat them in their house because I want to see Tom Brady walk off with his head down to his own locker room and us celebrate on their field. But I kind of like the poetic nature of that of the final stadium game. That's pretty cool. That's a very, very good point. So good job, Hardcore Raider. All right, so next up, how about Mosh, the guy that when he goes to work every day defends our freedom? Let's hear from our buddy Mojo.
Fellas, Mojo, San Diego, checking in. Hey, I'm going to be brief. Just a thought. See what the nation thinks about it. This year, in memory of Cliff Branch, it'd be nice to see a shield on the back of each one of the team helmets, just like the owl shield in the back, maybe number 21 in the middle of it. Like to see what you guys think about that. Just win, baby.
Good idea.
It's a great idea. The only thing that I think is a slippery slope for the team, and I want to hear your thoughts too. They did it for Al, right? And I think you can do it for, God forbid, one day when Madden passes away or when Flores passes. But for players, how do you differentiate between, because we've lost a lot of Raiders here lately, how do you differentiate between who's, helmet number status versus other, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of tricky, right?
And the reason I don't see it happening is because we have a history of not retiring numbers.
Right.
So the numbers are.
We didn't do it for Stabler.
We didn't do it for Stabler. So numbers are just a number. Numbers don't make the man. And I think Woodson, he kind of alluded to that a little bit with Abrams.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah. So it's
a great sentiment, Mojo. I love the idea.
Absolutely.
But I don't know how you pull it off without, because Al's easy. Because it's AL.
It's
not a number.
AL, right? But I don't, and I love it. I think it's a great idea, but I'm thinking of it corporately.
Exactly.
And because of their history and the histrionics of being that team that doesn't do that, doesn't retire numbers, it probably just isn't going to happen.
Yeah. But it's a great sentiment, though, man. But well thought, and great call, Mojo. As always, great to hear from you, my friend. And Mosh. Let's go to Houston. Speaking of Cliff Branch in Houston, hear from our buddy Houstorian Steve.
Hey, Murphy Mosh, Houston Raiders Steve. Show 137. Our friend Clarence Davis had 137 yards rushing in the Super Bowl. Man, he was all over the place. Super Bowl 11 against the Vikings.
Oh, that's
here's my
good.
submission. Before I get to that, I want to say I really loved Hard Knocks. I love seeing the blocking sled segment with John Madden. Back when I was in high school over here in Spring, I was a left tackle. After we did the wind sprints, we used to have to run 20 50-yard wind sprints, 96 degrees, full pads, and gutting it out, man. I was always finishing the top 5. But my submission is my dance submission is Parliament playing Flashlight. You got 60,000 people over there. Old school song.
Remember we talked about singing last
week? How it goes.
Yeah.
Flashlight, green light, spotlight, under the sun, flashlight. You got 60,000 people standing up. Everybody, including myself, this 50-something-year-old man up there, we're all shaking our jelly up there, man, of this song. It gets you up, man. Just Google it. It's a great old school Oakland song. So just want to tell people, man, let's go out and support the Raiders if you can make a trip out there. Man, go to the Chapel of the Chimes, go to Ricky's, pay tribute to Al over there at Chapel of the Chimes, man. But green light. Spotlight, under the sun. My singing's bad. Anyway, that's my submission. Spotlight, Parliament, and also, of course, you can't think of Oakland without thinking about Ice Cube. Now, somebody told me, they said the only thing is whenever Ice Cube shows up, these games, the Raiders lose, so maybe they ought to do a cameo appearance for him. But anyway, Spotlight, green light. That's my song. Bye.
Oh, my God. You're
So
cracking
funny.
me. Hey, Steve, all I got to say is your Flashlight, your Parliament reference is
He's so funny.
Oh, he's the best. Good job. Good
That
job.
might be the first time Hugh Storian had been tailgating a little too much before he called us.
Oh, we need to do that on Tailgating Too Much.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
We'll
all
do
right.
that just for Q
yeah,
next week.
Yeah.
Oh, too
sorry,
funny.
Steve. You're going to be in the. You're going to be in the on the program there on the
And we are keeping track. We are keeping track for next year's Fannies of everybody that has sung on the air.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I've already started the list.
You're so Nostradamus. All right, so yes, so we're gonna have a list, and we're gonna have the best singing performance on RFR. That's fantastic because we got three candidates now.
The Golden Pipes
Oh
Award.
my gosh, that's so funny.
Oh, too funny.
All right, next up, let's talk to our buddy Raider One.
Yeah, this is Raider 1 again. I'm just calling you back. I just came back from the hospital and I saw HBO Hard Knocks. And I think our 24 Jonathan Abram stole the show. I mean, it's like, he wanted to hate everybody. I mean, that's why, all the OG Raider fans, that's why we love our Raiders, because all the team used to hate like that. So all the young Raider fans right now, like swag and everything, this is why we became Raider fans. And I hope you got a little taste of what we used to get. And appreciate all the prayers. And God bless you guys. And Murph and everybody, thank you for keeping me in your prayers. And appreciate it. And I love you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Prayers up first and foremost, and we wish you good health. And it sounds like he's doing great.
Yeah, he does.
Sounds a lot better. And so good health to you, Raider One, and keep the phone calls coming. And yeah, man, we like crazy. We like crazy. That's why we like Jonathan Abram. We like people that are a little off.
Yeah.
That's what the whole, and we talked a lot about this last Mondays with Mikey Murph. We talked a lot about the legacy of the team because, it feels like, I don't know, I guess we're just getting to a certain age, man, where a lot of Raider fans are younger fans, and they became fans of the team in the 2000s and whatnot, and even in the LA years. And, the 70s Raiders, they were nuts, man. They're literally, most of the team, including the coach and arguably the owner, were all crazy to some extent. Different levels and ways of being crazy, but
Down
they were
here in
all
the South,
off.
we say they are a little titched.
They're a little titched in the head. You know what I mean? Look at Ted Hendricks and Otis Sistrunk and all those guys. They're all a little off, man.
Definitely.
They're all a little off. And so I'm with you, Raider One, man. That's what attracted us. They were the Renegades, and I won't get into the long story of it, but there was a reason that the Misfits and the Outlaws became associated with the Raiders because we embodied what the team was on the field. And that's what the beauty of the Raiders are and their legacy and their history. And, I'm sitting next to one of them. You know what I mean? Speaking of people that are a little off in a brilliant way, man. So anyways, good stuff there, Raider
One.
Thank you. Raider Ruse up next.
What's up, Murph? Uncle Mosh, Raider Nation. How about another good episode of Hard Knocks? To enjoy what I'm seeing. It's getting me fired up even more for the season than I already am, which happens every year no matter what. But, sorry guys. This is Raider Roo from Logan, Utah. But man, really this draft class is getting me fired up overall. The attitudes of some of these guys. Really love seeing Crosby there, just like, let's go. Let's hurry up. Go get that cast put on. He's ready to go so he can get back in there and prove himself in a meaningless game. But just seeing that heart, that dedication, just making me a big fan. This draft class overall, it's just got a lot of players that are easy to root for. So anyways, enjoyed it. That's all I got for now. Go Raiders.
Good job, Raider-oo. I'm with them. Meaningless game. We already talked about Max Crosby tonight, but man, that was cool, man. He was very level, right? Like there was no wincing, there was no nothing. It was just get me back in. Like the urgency just to get me back in.
Now we can put a cast on. Okay, do it. Do it. What? Okay, don't talk about it.
Hey, my fingers flopped back when I went to go get my 3-point stance. That's how I knew I broke it.
Yeah, it was like a noodle.
Oh, my gosh. Crazy. All right, next up, we're going to hear from our buddy RBK.
Murph, Uncle Mott, Little Murph. This is RBK Raider, longtime listener, second-time caller. Just want to chime in again. Man, it's sad about Cliff Branch, and it's really sad that it's going to happen just like Kenny Stabler. He's going to get into the Hall of Fame a year after he passes, and that's bull-ish. Yes, I didn't cuss on his show, sorry. But anyways, thoughts and prayers, like IPAC said, for everybody that has to deal with these mass shootings. I did shoot a tweet out to King Stapler from the Pillagers, and I know all of you know that's right across the street from his house and all is well. I'm sure everybody knows that because they all listen to his podcast. But just want to say, man, Hard Knocks, super excited. Was a little concerned about the cockiness of Abram. And you guys kind of touched on that on this last episode I just finished listening to. But, I like it. I like how John Gruden's letting him be himself. And there was a little statement where he goes, you can't cut me. And I know it was all jokes and stuff like that, but I'm like, oh man, is this guy going to be a problem? But I don't think so. I think you need that attitude. You know who you are, you know where you stand, you know what talent you bring to the field, and hopefully his play on the field will speak for itself. But, I'm at work. Sorry, guys, that's kind of all I got for now, so hopefully I get played on the air, and one more time, I'll be a made man. But that's it for me today. RBK Raiders out.
All right, one more for RBK Raider, and he becomes a made man. We look forward to that call. And, he led off talking about Cliff Branch, and Mosh did a great job last week about talking about comparing Cliff Branch to Lynn Swann. But this week, you got even more, Mosh.
I do. There was a thing on the television. It talked about career comparisons of Cliff Branch to 4 Hall of Famers. Okay. Fred Biletnikoff.
Of course.
John Stallworth.
Okay.
Paul Warfield.
Nice.
And Lynn Swann.
Okay.
So, of course, the leaders, Freddie. Freddie had 589 catches with almost 9,000 yards and 76 touchdowns.
Crazy.
John Stallworth had 537 catches with 8,700 and change yards, 63 touchdowns. Cliffy had 501 catches. He's number 3 on the list with 8,685 yards and 67 catches. Paul Warfield, of course, he rules the roost with touchdowns. He had 85 touchdowns.
Okay.
But he didn't have – Cliff had 75 more catches than he did and 100 more yards. And Lynn Swann, who's at the last spot of these 5 guys – had 336 catches, almost 200 catches less than Cliffy. He had 1,200 yards less than Cliff, and he had 16 less touchdowns. And he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Because he caught a couple big passes in a freaking Super Bowl.
Cliff Branch is number 3 on the all-time list, and he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's crazy.
That's stupid.
It's stupid. So you got 4 Hall of Famers. Cliff lands right in the middle of all 4 of them.
Yeah.
They better put him in. They better put him in.
Yeah. Paul Warfield and Lynn Swann away in total catches and total yards.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff there from RBK Raider. All right, next up, Mosh, we don't play favorites, but of my Mount Rushmore of collars, there lies...
Right next to Q is Rev Raider.
There lies Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph and Uncle Mosh, young Swaggo? This is Rev Raider calling from Jersey. Just wanted to give a couple of thoughts. It's definitely a good week. Definitely like what I saw in the preseason game, even though it's preseason. If you look at the past couple of seasons, like during the preseason, we looked terrible. So that basically shows that we got a decent bench, and up-and-coming people that can start. They were looking good. The defense held them to 3 points, even though it's preseason. They showed a little something, so I definitely appreciated that. Also the quarterbacks, even looking at how they were acting in Hard Knocks, definitely think that they need to start either digging into their game film and understanding things or make definitive decisions. Because it seemed like Peterman, he was gun-shy, and then Glennon, he was just throwing stuff, not paying attention at times, but he looked good.
That pick in the end zone was not good.
Max Crosby, loved it, Ollie needs to take some notes from him because that dude, he came back with a broken hand. He wanted to play. He was like, let's go. Wasn't no making excuses. I'm trying to make this team. And also, shout to the Capo Q Dog. He had him on the hit list for so long, and they finally carried out the hit. So Townsend's gone. Cole took that position. I mean, what did you expect? You go through a whole year, and your punt's about as futile as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition, you're bound to get cut. But that's pretty much all I got. Definitely loved it. How Gruden was saying, execute. He wants effing execution. So let's get it. Peace.
I love it, man. This is so funny. Great job, Rev Raider.
Cracks me
He's
up.
the best, man. I don't know what it is about... I just have an affinity for New Jersey Raider fans nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Between the Fan Club Blitz guys and Rev Raider, they're the best. They're the best. So, all right, Mosh. So I always love it when we get new callers to the show. We know we get new listeners. Our show grows every week, best we can tell, anyways. And so I always love to hear from new listeners, new callers, new emailers. And so we're going to hear from this week new caller Sugar Shane.
Hey, Murph. Hey, Mosh. Hey, Swag Jeff. This is Sugar Shane calling from the great state of Tejas. Anyways, I just want to, it's my first time calling. I just want to leave you guys a voicemail. Hopefully, I don't get the pendulum swing of the Google voicemail. But anyways, I'm going to keep this short. Just got a question for all of you guys. What was the single moment, I think, that made you guys become lifelong fans of this team? And also, in the correlation with that, how do you guys feel about this coming up season? Do you think we're going to see the Raiders of old, or do you think this is a new established, I guess you want to say a new established theme that we have going on of, we're getting in these, players that, of course, Gruden's taking over coaching and possibly, deciding who play. I mean, of course he's deciding who plays, who doesn't play, but he's also seeking and looking at some of these guys that we're getting in as potential Raider greats. And I just want to get you guys' feedback on that. Anyways, you have a good day, good podcast, and I'll be tuning in. And I also got the chance to meet Aaron Q-Dog Raiders, so very, very cool. Big old guy. Big guy. So
yeah, he is.
He's a large man.
Take care.
He's
Go
my
Raiders.
Friend.
All right, it's a great call, Sugar Shane. Appreciate you calling Raiders Fan Radio. Appreciate you calling the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. And 2 more, you become a made man, so it's good to hear from you. So, Mosh, so to answer his question, so we had 2 questions for us there. One was, what was the moment that you became a Raider fan? I can honestly tell you, Sugar Shane, everybody else, I have no idea, because growing up, all of my uncles were Raider fans. My dad was a hybrid Raider fan. And as soon as I was old enough to understand that the Raiders were a thing, I was automatically a fan. So I really don't remember like a definitive moment. Now, I will tell you this. The most definitive moment I can remember as a kid where I was like, wow, like I was impressed and proud to be a fan of the team in like a different level, where I felt like it wasn't just me hearing you guys tell me stories or like someone else's. Because when the Raiders won the Super Bowl in 1976, I was 3 years old. Right. So I knew the legends of Biletnikoff and Villapiano and Shell and Upshaw and Sistrunk and all those guys. But it was through the filter of you all. But when I saw Marcus Allen run with the Knight in the 1984 Super Bowl when I was 10 years old, that's my first moment that I remember watching it on TV being like, wow, this is so cool to be a Raider fan. So that's my moment. So give me your moment, and then I want to jump to his other question.
I don't know that I have a moment. It was just always there. It was a no-brainer, you know.
Because you were relatively young. When the Raiders became a thing, you were 2.
Yeah, you know. So they were always there. They were the bad boys. They were the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
You know, everybody went to Kezar Stadium before they moved to Candlestick, you know, to watch the 49ers play because you could get tickets. You know, little did we know they were giving away tickets to Oakland.
Yeah.
You know, but they were the bad boys. So when the bad boys became popular, when it became a thing in the 60s with the counterculture,
right,
you know,
right.
I guess it was kind of people started shifting that way. So those of us in the South Bay down there in San Jose were like, you know, it's just as much of a short trip up Highway 17 to see the Raiders play, you know, and you could get tickets cheaper, you know. Yeah. So it was, there's not a moment. Of course, my greatest moments are those old Super Bowls, you know, but it was just, I don't know that I ever was not a fan of the Raiders. You know, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
It was just always there. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, Mosh. And and I love the stories that, you know, you hear you guys talk about watching that 76 Super Bowl because you were a teenager, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's just, I mean, can you imagine, like, and I'm not asking you, I'm asking the proverbial you out there. Can you imagine being a teenager and watching the Raiders win their first Super Bowl, you know, in the middle of this, you know, this renegade era of the 70s? Like, it's just no wonder you're a freaking lifelong fan of the team. Like, it's crazy. So, and then the other thing he asked about, do I think this is going to be an old reflection of the Raiders of the past, or is this going to be a new era? I think both. And that's not me. I'm not about like being on the fence, and I'm not all about like being like non-committal on an answer. This is a genuine position I have. I think that we have someone that is equally reverent to the past of the team and equally forward-thinking enough to understand that you can't just live back there and still be successful in 2019. So he's brought in people that reflect the legacy of the team in terms of attitude and leadership and grit and toughness and work ethic and all that.
Sure.
But there's also a frivolity. Okay, there's a word to Google, that brought that to the team as well, that it is okay to have fun, it is okay to play, and then there is a certain level of execution that you have to expect in 2019 because it's a different league. It's practically a different sport than what it was played in the 70s.
I wrote one word down when he asked the question, is it the team of old or the team of the future? And I wrote hybrid.
There, perfect, yes.
It's a hybrid.
Yes.
It's a working emulsion of there's another word for it.
Oh, nice one, Mom.
Of everything that we had in the past with everything we have in the present, looking forward to the future.
I'm not going to talk anymore because you just stated that perfectly. So we'll keep it in the family, though. So, you know, I just said that a few minutes ago, Rev was on my Mount Rushmore of callers. But, of course, you know, I got to include family on our Mount Rushmore, right? Yeah, I got to include family on one of our favorites. So it's always good to hear from founding member of Raiders Fan Radio, my uncle's second favorite nephew. Hear from our cousin, Sonny.
Murph, Sonny. I just finished binge watching Hard Knocks all night long, drinking Mountain Dew, eating ice cream, finished with a bottle of wine. Now I'm heading to work. A couple things. Number one, that's badass the Raiders are on Hard Knocks. I know that being on Hard Knocks means you're not badass, but it's badass the Raiders are on Hard Knocks because we get to watch them. And the opening intro, when they're doing the autumn wind to the updated music, like that was almost like chilling, bone chilling. It was pretty epic. Number two, Derek Carr's arms. I mean, you know, I don't swing that way. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I would like to hang out with that guy and he's not wearing sleeves. That's all I'll say about that. Number three, Todd Downing, Javon Walker, Kerry Collins. They all taught me one thing. Don't buy in to preseason hope. However, it's looking kind of good. You know, there's a good balance there and stuff. And I like that Carr is under Gruden for the second year in a row. Hearing him talk about the install and how big the install was and how big the playbook might be and maybe he's more comfortable. And, you know, Antonio Brown's the best receiver in football. If his feet work. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for episode 2 next week, which I'll probably watch after I watch 72 more episodes of episode 1. Okay, go Raiders.
Nicely done, Sonny. Always good to hear from cousin Sonny, man.
Funny.
He's so funny. So he's at different points in our Raiders Fan Radio career. Sonny has been fixated on Derek Carr's eyelashes, his eyes themselves, and now his arms.
And now his arms. And he never mentioned how hot his wife was. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So Mosh, so we award a Sizzler Award to the best calls. What you got?
Oh man. Well, we kicked it off with Hardcore Raider. And, you know, Hardcore Raider, he was pulling for Swag Jeff, but he threw in a little bit of a challenge, you know, to Hardcore Jeff.
And he had a good one, that 137.
Great challenge, yeah.
Busted out Clarence Davis at the Super Bowl.
And then he finished it up with that great rebuttal to you on the last game in Oakland. So it was strong. It was a strong call. And then, of course, Mojo jumped in there with the Cliffy Shield idea, which is a great idea. Historian Steve went real old school with the Clarence Davis reference.
That was the Clarence Davis.
Clarence Davis reference.
My bad.
I love that. And, you know, I just got on a personal note, Historian Steve, you're amazing. You know, Capo calls you Dead Sea Scroll Steve, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to sing on this show. Anyway, Raider Juan, great to hear you. You sound like you're doing so good, and we're so happy for you.
Absolutely, brother.
We love that you're getting better and you keep calling. And he went old school. He said Abrams reminds him of old school. I love that.
Yeah. That kicked off some fun conversation.
That kicked off some great conversation. Yeah. Raider Roo, always fired up. He's fired up about the new draft class. RBK Raider got us looking at these Cliffy stats once again, and we will keep revisiting that.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
There's a couple he and Fu, you know, that we really are pulling for.
Yeah.
Rev Raider, kudos to the team as always. He was talking about the new guys, and he gave kudos to Capo, and then of course he always has these great things that he says, and of course he jumped in there with a one-legged man at an ass-kicking contest, and I love him for that. Sugar Shane, you know, when he called and said he was from Tejas, I thought, I wonder if he knows Q, and sure enough, he gave Q a shout-out. And, of course, my second favorite nephew, Sonny, he gave us a little bit of a, it was almost like, this is what badass is, you know, and he went into a couple different things. Of course, I got to admit, I think he might have been semi-drunk just coming off of an ice cream coma. So, you know, he can't win. He can't win the Sizzler. And those that can are available. And, I'm a sap. I'm a real sap for the arts. So, once again, I'm going to give it to my singer, Here you go, you Story and Steve. Not for your content or the fact that you might have been drinking with Sonny, but for your song. Good job.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Nice job, you Story and Raider Steve, and nice job, Mosh, man. Excellent job on the rundown. That is fantastic, and thank you so much for all of you that support us and interact with us each and every week. Keep them coming, man. We love it. 909-345-3346 and show at RaidersFanRadio.com. Didn't get all the voicemails in tonight. We're up again. We're trying to keep this thing to 2 hours, man. And so I appreciate the shorter you can keep your voicemails. Of course, we always love the content. We want to hear your takes, but the more concise you can make them and the tighter you can make them, then that's always better because it allows us to get more in. So thank you to those of you so much again for listening to the show, downloading the show, subscribing to the show. We're going to be back on YouTube next week. We'll be back up youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. We'll do our live show from the Fan Cave.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, man. Help us out on our subscribers there. Our audio listens are fantastic. We want to continue to build that YouTube channel best we can. So subscribe to us there. And man, Mosh, I think that's all I got. I guess I better hit the outro.
Hit the outro music.
Okay.
Hit the button, stupid.
I hit the button, stupid. All right, definitely hit the button. I love how Capo dropped that hit the button on me too.
I
man.
know,
that
right?
was
He
great.
gotcha.
That was
He
great.
gotcha. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening tonight. This is, I got it
What's your
written
name,
down and I
Maj?
still messed it up.
Oh.
Have I been drinking? No, I might have had
You
some
might have
ice
had a little
cream with
something.
Sonny. Anyway, we appreciate you all tuning in tonight. So for Murph and little young Swaggo and Capo and all the rest of our callers and listeners, we thank you. This is your old Uncle Mosh, and you've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Good night, everybody. God bless.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
That's the best.